So Fubo asked if any of us used the grade group or raid setup, hotkey setup in settings. I found out about it actually during the test that you see on here, and it didn't matter because something happened to our group, and Virtek went from the fourth person to the third person. So, but what about you guys? And thank you, Hag up.
Yeah, Hag up.
Hagabi.
Thank you. Cheers to you.
Cheers,
Thank
y'all.
you.
Huzzah.
I
did not use it, yeah.
I'm right there with Fupo. As a tank, yeah, I didn't use it at all. There was only one skill that it would have probably been useful for, and it wouldn't be that useful.
I don't know exactly what the group raid hotkey was.
There was the ability to go into your settings and you can make a hotkey for a specific target. So if the way I had it set up initially was if I hit a button, it would automatically target Virtek so I could heal him in a flash if I needed. But unfortunately, because of the way that it would, the situation, as you see later in the stream, I'm going to default to that just because that's what I'm used to doing with this stuff. But Steven ends up, also it's the best visual you can have. Steven ends up out of the raid with us, and he has to get invited back into the raid. So clearly, there's still some bugs with that. Sure. But something happened. I think somebody left the raid, and it made him go from fourth in place to third in place. So now when I hit that hotkey, it would target a different person.
I see. So yes, now that I understand what we're talking about, I did actually change my hotkey to have the tank highlight more accessible to me in my what do you call it? The routine that I had, where I made sure that when we were focusing targets, I would, I think I had it set to F2, and instead of targeting the second party member, I changed that to be I'm targeting the person that we are using to focus our damage and also keep him or her alive at that time.
Yeah.
So it was really helpful to be able to change my hotkeys and consider how to take advantage of that in the fight.
Yeah. So from a tank point of view, no. There was, and to answer what somebody was saying, yeah, you could select hotkey things for a tank. There was only one that was going to be useful, and that was basically fly to someone and put a shield on them worth a certain amount of your health. I forget what they were, and they're testing and all that. It's not even worth saying percentages or anything at this point, but it was a noticeable shield, and it would save somebody's life. But in action combat, it's easier to just see the health bar over them, see how healthy they are, and just immediately dive to that person when you see their health bar low. And who cares what what player number they are in your group.
Yeah. Also, to be fair, like I was struggling a little bit. I don't know who else had this issue, but it's something that I was able to put in a bug report for. But one of the weird issues I had is while I was healing on the last on the stream that you're watching now on this test, there was an issue with the cleric resource filling. So I ended up basically a half a cleric because all I had was mana to use. And it was a little bit frustrating, but I mean, this is literally why it's called testing, and it's one of those, like, it was frustrating because nobody else really had that. And it's like a really rare bug apparently, because I was talking to like a couple of the other people and they're like, oh yeah, but then I did this thing and it started filling. I was like, mine's not filling. It hates me. I'm not being smiled upon by the Baron gods, I guess, in that test.
Womp, womp, womp.
It's interesting that you had such a frustrating experience with that, because I actually found great benefit in that ability, because I didn't spec into mana regeneration on any of my abilities. I didn't spec into Bless Weapon, which would have given me some mana regen. And instead I had to find myself, if I didn't have mana and I didn't have the divine power, I would have to go a little bit farther into the back line and take a seat and just wait it out for a minute while everyone else, and let folks know I'm out of mana. Chibi, will you step in, and vice versa,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Well, the other test for that was not it was not the same experience. The thing I'm talking about is like for that specific test, I was experiencing it where the resource wasn't filling up, even though it's healing people.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's frustrating.
That's what I was calling frustrating. But other than that, it felt great.